for sponsoring. The Concours is a charitable event. To date, we've given over $50 million to local charities, and without Rolex's support, we can't do that. Without your support of Rolex couldn't do that. So thank all of you. The Concours, how many have been to car shows before? How many is this your first time to any car show or Concours? Okay. What I like to describe Concours as is this is a museum that only lasts for one day. These cars are here from 15 different countries, 30 different states. They may never have been together before. They may never be together again. There's some cars that haven't seen each other since the factory, and this is the first time they've ever been in proximity to each other. There are very enthusiastic owners, very enthusiastic fans, which is very crowded down there. So we're going to use this just so that our docents don't have to yell over the crowd. Please try to keep up with them. They'll probably give you some cues. Hey, we're meeting up down at this car. So if you do get separated, you can follow along. I'll lead you down to the docent tent, hand you off to them. But it is a fantastic day out there. This is the 75th anniversary of the Pebble Beach Concours. It started off as a road race through the forest. If you can picture racing at 150 miles an hour through the forest over here. Started in 1950. They did it for 5 years until there was some fatal accidents and they cut out the racing. But along the way, after the races, they'd bring the cars down here in front of the lodge and have a party. And then they said, we should probably pick the best car. At the time, they were brand new cars until Phil Hill showed up one year with one of his vintage cars. And then it was on. Then it was like, oh, I'm going to bring a vintage car next year to show up Phil. And then it was a contest. Then the old cars started. That's the genesis of what you see today. So,
is there an age limitation as to what gets presented?
Sort of. Not that's an issue in the car show, the car community. The Pebble Beach Concours is kind of the Queen Mary of car shows. It is the Super Bowl of car shows. It changes course and it changes with the times, but it does so slowly. Classic cars and post-World War II cars have been kind of the staple of it. Out there today for the very first time is a collection of 80s Japanese race cars. That's a new thing. The car community, the car world is changing. A much younger demographic is coming in, and they're interested in much more modern cars. You see that reflected in the sales at the auctions. Modern supercars are going through the roof. So you're seeing it reflected here. The Pebble Beach Concours will change a little slowly, more than some other car shows. But there isn't an age limit per se. It's the interest and the quality of the cars. There's a very recent Le Mans winning Toyota car out there that's fairly recent.
Right.
Is it going to be up for best in show? Probably not, but it is on the field.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
They have categories, I guess, too?
Yes, there are classes. It's divided up into classes, usually by style of car, year, or make. And there's over 30 classes. So you'll see things like Open European, American Luxury Touring, Ferrari of a certain era, or by a certain coach builder. And the docents will explain that as well.
Okay.
So let's head on down. I set me up because I'm tall, I'm easy to see, and it's kind of crowded, so follow along.
I love it. They did say that different parts because it was on the Japanese, they brought like a whole main player in this.
And the Rolex tour of Pebble Beach Concours 2026. August 16th.
Okay, let's hold up here. Wait for everybody.
Young people don't want to look at the 50s.
Oddly enough, there's a whole contingent of young folks that are getting into the brass era cars.
Oh, interesting.
So it's kind of weird because it's like the most difficult thing you can do.
But you still need reservations if you're trying to sit down and eat stuff like that.
But is there like one place we could go?
I mean, one of these places, right?
The wristband you need.
What, like?
It's the wristband you need.
Like we literally like it was like
Here we are. Sure.
sorry. So you did. Thank you. We get there.
Keep up, Denise. You're gonna lose this thing.
Sure. I'm not good with it. Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's already lined up.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Always a view for Oh,
I'm like, oh,
When I saw it the other day,
so we could have gotten a ride?
Wait till everyone comes up. This is one of the cars that's normally on the tour that we've been giving today. So I'll pull everyone and stop here just real quick before I turn you over to the other docents. 1937 Dubonnet Xenia Coupe. Dubonnet family distillers, liqueurs. 1937. It's on a Hispano-Suiza chassis. Had this designed. The gentleman who had it designed was a World War I ace. And wanted aircraft design in the car. Notice how the doors open, they come out and swing back. The windows swing up. The center hatch opens up. Just a fantastic car. Imagine pulling up to a club in 1937 in this. Now imagine pulling up today. It'd still be, you'd be the hit today. Imagine what it was back then. Just an absolutely fantastic car. The only problem with it is the name Xenia. That was the gentleman's first wife's name. He had it built when he was married to his second wife, and she was none too happy about him naming it after his first wife.
Yeah.
So fantastic car. This is from the Streamliner class, and a few of them in the class are kind of to be considered potentials for best of show. So,
Wow. That's a hint. That's a hint. Yeah.
I don't know,
Okay.
but I know a few favorites.
Okay.
They're all like 50s.
has that been in the show in the past?
Yes, it has.
Has it ever won yet?
I don't believe so.
Don't think so.
But it may
You're a
have
little
been on
biased about
display.
that a little bit. That I don't want you the same guy to win every year, right? So
That is correct. Yeah. Cars in judge classes, they can only come back every 10 years.
oh, I see. Okay, so you can't be here every year.
No.
But December, that was
want to
good.
cuddle something?
That's cool.
Returning from come by the ceremonies, please join me in giving a very warm heavenly welcome to Amanda Stratton.
No, it's
That
starting
be
to be fun.
right up right
I
now.
know. Yes, I saw that.
Please join the wheel of this beautiful 1955
No. See, I actually I see so many dogs.
You want some crappy cheeseburger? Hi guys. How are you? You all right? Yeah, good. Yeah. I'll be. If you see a car, hey there, good guy. How are you? Yeah, good to see you. Yeah. I'm gonna be with you guys. So if we'll take a group shot somewhere down there. But if you see a car you really like, you want a picture in front of it. Yeah. C'est moi. Yeah. Okay.
Folks, come on over here.
Who'd like to have a guide? Pick up.
I'll have to turn it off.
Oh, we got enough for everybody.
Here.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, is there? Yeah.
He's with me. I'm gonna use
I think they're getting a phone for a photo.
Everybody good?
Right.
You ran the video. Hi, Jen.
Thanks so much.
No, you know what?
We're here in the back. We made it. These magazines are heavy. I think it'll roll up, knock somebody out with them.
No, all right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, Mercedes.
Yep.
All right, well, everyone, hello, welcome. I'm sure you've already seen a bunch of cars and had a good time and a few drinks. My name is John Farcar. I'm one of your docents. This is.
Are you
We'll be taking you around and showing you a few cars for about 45 minutes. A lot of the cars are already heading up, so a lot of my favorite cars are actually in line for the award ceremony, but we'll hit quite a few. If you have any ones that you like specifically, it's an explanation about, we'll be glad to tell you about them. Otherwise, we're just going to pick a few out of each class and walk you through some of the basics. Has anybody not been here before to Pebble? We got some new folks. Awesome. Well, welcome. So Pebble has been going on for quite some time. It originally was a road race that was here, that was held through the trees, and we've got some of the original road race cars here. And what they would do is after the road race, they'd come to here, park the cars, and have a big old party. And then one year, they were like, they'd vote on who had the best car. And then one day, Phil Hill showed up with one of his classic cars and won a vintage car. And then it was on between all these guys. Like, well, I'm going to bring one too. And hence, all this was created. The race itself moved to Laguna Seca for safety's sake, because pretty much every year somebody would die in the race. So that's where Laguna Seca's race came from. That's where Pebble Beach came from. So let's just start walking through here. We're going to catch a few cars before they head on. Follow me. I'm the tall guy in the docent hat.
The spectacular 1950.
Show you this car before it heads up on the stage. It's already been selected for an award. What they'll see is you'll see the cars going up in groups of three. They have no idea who took first, second, and third. And what they'll do is when they get up there, they line up all super nervous, all these millionaires waiting for that moment, and all they're getting is just like a dog show. They get first, second, third, and then they find out right when they're up there. It's kind of exciting.
This is your oldest car.
This is the oldest existing Rolls Royce. It was the fourth one built.
Thank you so
much. It's all of 10 horsepower. And that was sufficient back in the day. Normally, Rolls Royce never told you how much horsepower they had, all the way through the 60s and 70s. They just said it was adequate. But that little car is obviously getting ready to go up on stage. If you want to jump in,
I was just going to say, did you talk about the Packard?
So
I know about Packard.
Packard
you've really
belongs
given
to
this
Lebanon,
event
Lebanon,
your,
Missouri.
your heart and your soul, your vision, your devotion. On behalf of everybody today, we'd like to say thank you.
So, kind of a neat car, early example, the oldest Packard known to exist.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Like the real antiques. We're going to head down real quick. I always try to stay out of the way of the people taking photographs. Okay.
No, go ahead.
No.
I think
We're gonna work through the years pretty quickly. As we walk through, we've been walking through the what were sports cars back in the pre-World War era. This was a way of showing off your wealth and going really quick with your lady. These were what would be your Ferrari back 120 years ago. But the car I'd like to show you here.
We are out of town. This is the representative.
As we come forward, this is the Rolls Royce Phantom. It's called the round door, and you'll see why. It was originally a cabriolet, but it was rebodied in Belgium for a Maharaja. And some of the unique things are the giant round door, which is actually quite extraordinary. You see how the windows roll up and down. They actually come forward and back. Isn't that cool? I think that's one of my favorite things. The windshield pops up for ventilation. It also has, so Rolls-Royce was very picky about their grills, and they still are to this day. And they didn't allow anybody to lean them back. They had to stand straight up. But when they rebodied this, they tilted it back. Rolls-Royce lost them. What are they going to do? It's already done. This car actually went into brake disrepair. People didn't really know about it. It recently restored it quite a few years ago. It's the Peterson. I first saw it in the basement of the Peterson. This is the first time I've ever actually seen it outside. And you can, it's absolutely magnificent. You see pictures of it. It looks smaller than it actually is. It's absolutely nice. Tell people about the double R's with different colors that all the brothers are alive with that. Is that what they make? I didn't know that. No, you can tell me that then. Here, you take the tour right here.
I don't know the exact details.
So what he's saying is that the RR on there has two different colors, and one of the colors represents it as a live or dead. I never actually.
The
heard
red,
that one.
the red and
is
black. Sometimes
red and black.
Yes.
I think they're both pretty dead now.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're probably both black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shades of silver.
I'll have to look that one up.
It has something to do with Erdogan family.
Yeah.
Yeah? Erdogan family?
Yeah.Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just wanted to make
Hand
sure.
the microphone around, and everybody can help me out.
Let me hit. I may be getting a little elementary here, but does everybody here understand that when you walk to a showroom in this era, you just bought the chassis of the car. You did not buy the body. You had to find somebody to body the car for you. Sometimes the dealer would actually line you up with Rolls-Royce and they body it for you, or they would have somebody on contract that would body the car for you. That's why this Rolls-Royce looks different from any other Rolls-Royce. They had someone body the car in Belgium, even though it was a British car. So you see a lot of cars of this era up till the time they started unibody construction, which was about in the late 30s, where dealers actually offered the car and the body on the at the same price. So you would actually buy the chassis, and then you'd have to go pay somebody to build the body on it and your interior that you liked.
The Italians were great for that too. Different concierge.
Yeah, so you'll see, I can see Rolls Royce with Hooper bodies, with a variety of different names.
I don't want to get too elementary, but I know some people are looking like a deer in the headlights.
Insurance races, the 1980s, all the way through to
Not the way it worked.
Especially the Italians had all these different different bodies.
In the States, with Vision though, you have so many different options. You can really space itself. You know, there's
We've already kind of walked by them that were the first influencer cars, essentially. And Duesenberg was going out of business, and they gave one to Gary Cooper and one to Clark Gable. In an effort to get them in front of the media, and they were supercharged versions of their cars that were 400 horsepower. And 400 horsepower in the 30s was like 1,500 horsepower today. And fortunately, it didn't work.
Didn't work because
nobody could afford the cars because the depression was so low. So I want to stop and take pictures.
Now this distinguished and very different because they are deep.
You'll see occasionally cars that
They select today's
it's just representative of how many cylinders each side. If you look at some of the colors on great lights, really go back to their original, which is difficult because obviously all this back then is black and white. So what they do is when the shops that I work at,
just outside the main entrance. Today.
black Model T. If you have money, this is what you get paid. So these cars are based. You will be buying it originality, correct? So some of these, all these cars are judged based on how accurate they are. So those are really, they came from the coach builder. The preservation class done towards the end where the cars are as they were never restored. So they have all kinds of weird stuff done to them, and you can find an original car from 100 years ago. They're prizes. Well, we're not going to get that far down the field. Yeah.
Four cars, Century of Progress. That basically was the World's Fair in 1933 in Chicago. And it was originally, and they first started planning it in the late 20s, 1928. It was to commemorate all the progress we had made, hence the Century of Progress. Of course, the thing being what they are, the Great Depression occurred and the stock market crashed in October of 29, and they quickly changed the theme. It was more of not where we've come from, but where are we going? Where is the world going? Where is it? And so the manufacturers of cars were challenged to do the same thing. Show where our cars are going. So you see a distinct difference in the designs of these American cars. This one being the Duesenberg SJ, the Cadillac V16, the Pierce Arrow, and on the end, the Packard. They were all challenged to bring in new cars of what the future would look like, to bring back optimism into the country with going into the Depression. This one was called the 20 grand, even though it's a Duesenberg SJ. We talked earlier about the cars being manufactured as a chassis and drivetrain. That would cost about $10,000. And then to have it fitted with the body and the interior would cost another $10,000. Hence the 20 grand. Keeping in mind that the average salary for a family in 1933 was $800. This was not appeared to the masses. This appeared to the elite of the time. Unfortunately, there was also a concern of conspicuous consumption. That if people had nothing and you had something, it could be like Marie Antoinette and let them eat cake. So this car did not sell. This is the way it was originally bodied and originally colored, but in order to sell it, a year later after it came off tour, they painted it black. We don't know that it actually sold for $20,000, but that was the asking price. The next car we have is a Cadillac V12. You'll notice the lines of the car is more aerodynamic than anything that happened before that. Gone are the wheels on the side, the spare tires. We have the V12 engine, which generated a tremendous amount of horsepower. And they got rid of these spare tires on the side, and for the first time, they showed up in the trunk of this car. That's where they put the V12. The only car that's not original to this group, and by the way, this is the first time that all of the cars from the exhibition have been back together since 1933. Wow. And this one is not the original. The original apparently disappeared to scrap iron drive during World War II in the United States. So this one was a recreation from a 1937 model of the same style. a gentleman in Miami area bought the car and completely had it restored to the original specifications as if it were one of the original cars. And that's what you're seeing here. The next car next to us is a Piercero. Interesting things there. Again, you see the aerodynamic, and you also see the disappearance of the fenders and the spare tire. Anybody want to take a guess on where the spare tire is on this car? Good guesses. No, but not in the back seat and not in the. You see those little doors on the front of the fenders, right behind the wheel wells on either side, in front of the front door, in front of the doors, but behind the wheel wells. There's a little square on either side. And that's actually a compartment where the tires, our spare tires, are located. So they put those in there, and then they actually fold front on the hinges on the front.
They can open it. We're not.
No, sorry, I can't do that.
No, they should have it on display. Yeah, they should open it.
Again, they're going with the sloping fenders and the aerodynamics. So you don't want that spare tire on the side to create the drag.
Right.
The patch on dealt with it in a fun way. Instead of putting it in the trunk, instead of putting it under a hidden compartment, this is the first time you'll see a car with the wheel actually mounted to the rear end. So if you look around the back side of this, you'll see the spare tire on the rear end. After going into the Depression, was the second behind Cadillac in terms of production. Cadillac was ahead. I'm sorry. Packard was ahead about 2-1 to Cadillac. At the end of the Depression, it had reversed. Cadillac was in the lead about 2-1 versus Packard. At the end of the Depression, Piercero had gone out of business in 1937. Duesenberg had gone out of business by 1938. The one on the left, the Packard, just a small detail on it, was sold in Reading, Pennsylvania, by the car dealer of Jones and Massey, and it was sent a gentleman named Thomas M. Old age here getting to me. Flanagan was the first owner, and he owned Berkshire Knitting Mills in that's my
Hunter Engineering. All extraordinary cars. I think the cars that were way too expensive for anybody to buy.
Back to the day.
Shunned them, and they all had objective. Model A at the time was the car. That's how Ford really came forward, was because nobody could afford these things. Now, speaking of not anybody being able to afford anything, let's take a look at the I've seen this movie. This is one of two that exist. Ralph Lauren owns the other one. You'll notice the interesting construction with the rivets up and down the body. This was made originally out of kind of a magnesium alloy, and you can't weld, at least back then, they couldn't weld magnesium. Burns. So they riveted together aircraft. So this is how an aircraft would have been built pre-war, before they came out with a different kind of riveting system after World War II. This is just an extraordinary field. Now the owner, he sent it back because it was so hot. So they actually cut those holes in the hood in front there that made it out. You see the louvers of the doors. The steering wheel is enormous. The steering wheel on all of these cars you'll see are huge. The reason for that is they didn't have power steering back then. So you were manually turning the wheel.
Had to get left for
You are driving the wheel. But this was probably, I think, one of the most iconic cars. So look at this. If you ask anybody what an old sports car should look like, it's this Bugatti right there. And it's, again, these usually are locked away in collections, so it's extraordinary to have it outside. There's a beautiful photograph with the blue flags behind it.
Right.
Yeah. The other one's a dark blue, right? Yeah. They're wonderful. Yeah, the dark blue. You'll see the little silver thing right behind the door. You'll see those on a few of the cars, but those are the turn signals. They're called semaphores. They pop out and let you know which way you're turning, and sometimes they have little lights on them that flash. But yeah, the little arms pop out there, indicate where you're going. Not that anybody uses turn signals anymore. As we walk by, I just want to point out this little blue car across the way. It's overlooked, but this is a Cord. And following you,
I know, I'm ready.
that essentially bought Duesenberg and tried to save them. The cord was what they called the baby Duesenberg. What made it really cool, because most people didn't know that back then, most cars were rear drive. This was a front wheel drive car. And one of the first cars ever built.
Honorary judges, please give a round of applause to Kevin Colour from Rocky Plains, New Jersey. Chief Marketing Officer, Pirella Motorsports.
The car extraordinary looking from the front.
Jordan
Makes them
Meadows,
unique.
Long Beach,
It's,
California, Vice President of Exterior Design, Scout Motors.
One thing on this is kind of an iconic car in line. If you notice, this car seems a lot lower. Also notice there's no rubber on the side of the car. The reason for that is they actually built the car down in below the side of the chassis, the frame. So you can actually step in and down into the car. This is the same style car that Amelia Earhart left at the airport when she left on her world famous drive and never returned.
Is it still there?
No.
Oh, man. Free cord.
Let's work on this way. You guys can keep on with
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I guess he's one of the.
Wonderful to hear their engine start. That is the sound of a 16-cylinder.
Oh, you left that.
It's okay. That's what a V16 sounds like. Oh, the color is absolutely beautiful. And nothing mixed up with the Packard. I really, as a car guy, it's seeing them in motion is really the best part. They are works of art, but they're works of art.
Andreas Werner, founder and CEO, Werner Design. Yasutaki Tsushida, Torrance, California. And Director, Vice President, Design, America Honda Motor Company.
Now they look like this. That's beautiful.
Franz von Hausen, Los Angeles, California. Chief Designer, Tesla.
You had a question, stop. I don't want to mess it up.
Stefan Vanessa from New England, Chairman and CEO, Motors.
Tell us where you want to go.
Notice the two armor. That's the rarest.
Jay Ward, Orinda, California, Creative Director of Franchise for Pixar.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna get right now.
Willie, Franklin, Michigan, Head of Ford Design, Ford Motor Company. Stefan Engelman, Sant'Agata Bolognese, Italy, Chairman and CEO, Automobili Lamborghini. And our final honorary judge is David Woodhouse from Warwickshire, United Kingdom, Chief Creative Officer of McLaren. We excuse our honorary judges. Please join us in welcoming the newly appointed President of the Pebble Beach Concours Elegance, Vince Fernaldi.
The kinds of instruments that are more akin to aircraft.
Now, Vince joined the Concours as president in January 2026 and has been working closely with Chairman Sandra Button across all aspects of the event. A third-generation automotive entrepreneur, collector, former trial attorney, and founder of the Collector Car Atelier, Rinaldi Inc. Vince brings both professional discipline and a lifelong devotion to the collector car world to this new role.
And Bugatti, of course.
Right?
This is the original. This is the real. This is the real deal. That is absolutely. a perfect example. That is one of the benefits of coming to Pebble Beach is you see either one of one cars or the perfect example of that car. So you're not going to go to your local car show and see anything. Doesn't get any better. Doesn't get any better.
It's original. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, Bugatti made cars continuously from this era all the way till now, every year, or they quit at
Bugatti
some
stopped
point.
production a few times.
That's what I
When
was
they
thinking.
switched, yeah. So the Bugattis in the '90s aren't related to the Bugattis of current.
Right.
Different company. Since we're behind it, I just want to point out this Bentley. I don't usually show it to you, but it's here. And I want to see the coach work on it. First of all, cars back then had wooden wheels for the most part. Having a single disc wheel was really high tech. Like this would have been
Now Romeo.
But I want you to see the.
Now back 5, back 7, and back 9 are all here.
Because it looks like.
Literally, it looks like that they debuted. The backs were never get together. So they appeared on this very show.
See the ring shape?
One of the original first brought the back to us there, Gary Kelly is here and he is enjoying this historic moment with us today. The bats later returned in 2005 and today we welcome them to the third time. Now, short for Berliner Aerodynamica Technica, the bats turned the building.
You can have them running around.
哦，直接就做成亚上的那个前甲版型了。
Efficiency and speed, feats that typically work against one another, but in this rare case, they actually all came together in perfect harmony.
You can see the backside of the Bugatti. I mean, look at the spare and how the line of the.
We're getting to witness them all today. So starting with back 5.
Hello, Fair.
How are you holding up? Yes, early today.
In 1954,
Building. So one of them was Vignali. Early on, most Ferraris that we know of were built by Pininfarina, designed by that, double by Bertone. But the early ones.
What are you? Yes,
following the success of
Steel bodies. This would all be hand formed. They make these wood bucks essentially with these ribbed-looking structures, and they would roll the metal over it. When you restore these cars, I've restored a few of these coach-built cars. Both sides are two different shapes because they're handmade. So one side will be a quarter-inch bigger than the other, which is infuriating when you're trying to put it back together again.
much more accessible to the average driver.
Imagine showing up to a horse and Vignali had a kind of
When seen together, I think you could all
you'll see, can't really see from where our angles are, but then it inset tail lights that car over there you can see.
3 visually.
That'll mess with cars So whenever you do a clean
sharing with us in our history. Now, if you want to take this special memory home with you, of course, these cars are also featured on this year's event poster, and those are available for purchase at the poster and program booth, which is just outside main entry.
Pierce Arrow Type 42B.
So as these stunning cars make their way off the ramp,
I noticed something.
I think you'll all agree that is a very visual indulgence. From one visual indulgence, moving straight on to another. See you later. Because now it is time for the anthem. Now this year we celebrate the birth of the streamliner, a moment in automotive history when but now it's like, yeah. By the way,
Cunningham, I knew him. Cunningham.
Used to have that just to go to Safeway or Costco.
I know, yeah, we were just.
Pull up Costco and sit down.
Yeah, the museum right down from my office on Baker Street. And he was buddies with, he was a rich kid like our friend, in a sense. His father owned, I think, the Kellogg's company or something of that sort. And he raced cars in the 30s, late early 40s. And he had a museum there. You could go in and look at all his cars.
That's beautiful color.
That's the color I wanted that Porsche to be.
Oh, that's cool.
Ipanema blue.
Oh no, we live in we bought it.
I'm gonna get one still someday, tease. Maybe.
Be nice. That looks like you all day.
Yeah, right?
That looks like you
This
all day.
an all-round good bloke, Martin Button.
Thank you, Amanda.
Welcome everybody. For breaking my view today.
Oh, blue car. There you go. Some race cars. Boy, if I could find him. I used to work on this one.
Just like a light hours.
They created these massive downforce cars. Ground effect isn't, you can press a car down a couple of ways. One is to put a giant wing on it, but if you put a giant wing on it, the wing slows it down. Or you can run air through the car and the whole car becomes the wing. So if you look at this Nissan here, you'll see there's two big holes in the front.
The way around.
That's where air moves through the car. At over 120 miles an hour, this car can create 8,000 pounds of downforce. So you hear the stories about like cars could drive upside down in a tunnel or something like that. You could strap an Escalade to the roof of this car and it would still drive upside down. That's how much downforce it created. They actually had to create new tire technology because the force on the tires was so high, they were exploding at speed. And these cars are capable of well over 200 miles an hour, which makes me a little nervous. The one thing that the Japanese hadn't done at that point, I remember the first car championship, and Nissan and Toyota came in, but they hadn't won Le Mans. And Le Mans is the greatest race. 24 hours of endurance in France, day to night to day, and most cars just don't stop. The first car to do that and win was the Mazda 787. And this is a 767 here, which is generative. The 787 is all fine. It's fantastic. The orange and green is legendary. You'll see people put this livery on their street cars. Yeah, this is why if you're a Japanese car fan, this livery is as famous as any livery that the Germans or British have. But it took first place in 1991 with a four-rotor GTP. And it's one of the cars towards the end. So let's work our way towards the end. Highway 1.
Thank you, man. Bringing to God today.
There was a time. There you go. The dominant race car. And they won heatedly all the way through the 80s. When these cars came along,
The guys from that's the black guy right there. He's the head of the museum, car museum, Ogmars or something.
Oh, in Newport, Rhode
In
Island.
Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
buddies with Jay Leno all the time. I didn't get your picture with me. I see him again.
thank you again. To the left, you'll see a lot of Ferraris here. I'm not going to get into those because I think you really know what a Ferrari is. The Ferrari Transporter, though, is an absolute beauty. That's the way you would transport a 250. That's a we're going to be hanging off the back. They'd have a couple engines in it. That's how they would show up. Nowadays, with Formula One, you'd have 5 transporters and these giant buildings and extra cars and an army of people. But this is how Ferrari would show up at a racetrack in the 60s and 60s. But there's a whole lot of money 10 feet down. And when you see it put together, the ramps that come out the back are this long metal ramp. And
Oh my God!
there's tons of pictures.
We'd brave enough to put him up there.
Yeah, you're the guy that backs him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who backs him out? But there's pictures in period of
Oh my
these
God.
cars like hanging off by one wheel because they didn't get it straight.
Terrifying.
Oh, so, it's out. All right. These are the Alfa Romeo back cars. Now, just to see these moving is extraordinary. Experiments by Alfa Romeo. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Coming up is back 5. 1953, 1954 in the middle, and the front are 1955. That's the first time they've been together. So they were aerodynamic experiments in drag. The middle car had a drag ratio of 0.19. It's a CD? The CD. What the why? Nothing like your street cars. Those are all by a 16-year-old at a car dealership with this wings cut off, and he bought $2,000. The one in the middle was found in a barn hanging from a like nope. Probably one of the most unique and amazing cars you've ever seen. This car is not been in the States.
Here we have a 1938 Mercedes Benz 320. The thing about the one down here on the right, that's the way it came off the track. Sunbeam? Oh, Sunbeam's the next one. We'll talk about that. This one actually is the way it came off the track at Le Mans. It never been cut. LMP. Just what it was. Like that.
Yeah, because they always feel like
Some of these cars run in like the ALMS series.
And the Rolex series, of course.
Wild.
All the way up.
'63 Avante over there. That's significant, only because it's only because it's the one of the built in the U.S. instead of shutting production and they moved production to Canada.
Oh, I seen this shit.
63 miles an hour.
It took them 20 years to get to 150, and 2 years after that, this car came along. It has two aircraft V12s in it, one in the front and one in the back. You see the exhaust pipe for the front one on the crown there. And they took this to Daytona Beach. And on the beach, they went 200 miles an hour in 1927. What's wild is the car here to my left, this Toyota, is a Le Mans car. That one Le Mans, and that's what it looked like. They never washed it after it won. So like, that's what a car looks like after 24 hours of getting beat up, right? Not so pretty. But what's crazy is these cars are 100 years apart. Look at this car. But that car only goes 25 miles an hour faster. So imagine the courage it took to fit in that crazy little seat, right?
Right.
With a,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
with a pair of goggles.
Yeah, goggles.
Just the goggles and a little crash helmet. And it's just, this is by far as one of my favorite cars.
It was on the beach.
On the beach at Daytona. So they're going to return to Daytona.
The Daytona sand was that way, and they NASCAR flew up there because the sand was very, very hard.
Right.
It's almost solid surface.
This is a 1950. Introduced in 1934, the car 1977 reflects a stunning on dynamic aerodynamic. That's why aerodynamic efficiency, achieving the incredible drag torque for its area. Conceived by aerodynamic pioneers Paul Jarek. Central
The gentleman who developed those was a pastor. So he didn't want to have that company after World War I because he thought they were using it. So he turned it into his car. That's the result.
The engine.
Let me show you this one.
Later remake the concept mostly maybe
this is a Tucker. There's a movie called Tucker. This is the car they only made 50 years. The rumor was that General Motors put them out of business because it was so advanced. The engine in the back is a flat 8 out of a helicopter. It was Army surplus after the war. So it's rear engine, 8-cylinder. It had so many futuristic things.
That's for the parade of elegance.
This is the owner right here.
6-cylinder.
6-cylinder. Would you like to tell them? Come on, this is your car.
I used to be. It's not anymore.
Oh, okay.
But we restored it.
Yeah, this was Preston Tucker's own car, and what
Let's
happened?
try again.
He had to
Now
buy
it's
it
working.
at
Right.
auction
Martin,
after the
thank
company
you
got
so much.
dissolved.
I think you would agree
There's a few
that
futuristic
really
things in
was
it.
a
There's
parade
no
of
drip rails.
elegance.
A lot of the cars back then had rails where they come down. He didn't think that was aerodynamic, so he worked the door into the roof line. That didn't come back until the 80s.
By welcoming up onto
On the
the ramp.
front, though, is what really makes his car.
The second and then the first place winners in each class.
On the front.
First class recipients
What
will
it
then
was.
proceed round the winner circle, where they're going to go head to head for the coveted
I think
best
so.
in show.
And it's steered with the steering
Now
wheel.
it's in this final stage
Nowadays,
that
a lot of our
our
headlights are tied to Porsche Cayenne.
closer to the cars,
Steering wheel.
and then they will
This was
vote
1948. You're getting the full. That's the same technology.
So entrance,
Oh.
please remember, if your car is on the road, it does still remain an existence that is special
Oh my goodness, that was great.
and elegant. And then
So the Tucker's definitely one of my favorites here. If you ever get to see the film or read about the story about his life,
throughout
it was pretty extraordinary.
of the show said, be sure to send your friends, your family, your children, your grandmothers to grab a ticket for a chance to win one of 3 incredible vehicles that have been donated to each charity. Now, tickets are available at the charity tent, which is down on the show field.
Love that.
And that will be open until the 22nd. only $100. Every single dollar goes directly to charity. And we would really like to extend our huge thanks to the generous manufacturers that donate these brand new cars that are being given away today. Bentley, Mercedes-Benz, Lincoln, and Lexus. And now let's welcome
The green, when you see the green ribbon on the
Yeah,
cars,
yeah.
that means it took the tour.
Oh.
So all the cars that drive the tour, now the reason you drive the cars on the tour is if there's a tie, the car that drove on the tour wins automatically. So there's a benefit to it. Now, if you take it on the tour, of course, the car gets dirty
Sure.
or it might break down or anything like that. So they have to re-detail them when they get them back and take care of it. But this was faster than a Corvette. This was faster than anything you could buy. And it was beautiful. And it sat 4 people in luxury. Unfortunately, it was Studebaker's last stand. This was a Hail Mary to try to keep them in business, and it didn't work, unfortunately. This car was built only a couple of months before they went out of business. But the #1 Studebaker guy for Avantes in the country is the guy who restored this, and it's perfection. Do you want to grab one? Do you want to?
We're good. You're about. I think these folks are probably getting kind of tired of us by now.
Behind us, and I'll let you go. So down at the end here, when I talked about the Pebble Beach races, the cars wrapping around the end of the field here, all the original cars that raced at Pebble Beach back in the day that survived. And if you ever saw the movie Ford versus Ferrari, 10 miles was the
Flying Shingle.
2 of his cars that he built are right there that he raced against the show back in the day. So they raced against each other before they worked together. The beginning of all of that 50s era, he would be and those say special. Because you take the car, you make it your own. You put your own body on it, you do whatever you did to win. That's
Glide automobile company, and it's powered by
There's one mural over there.
Technically, it is among the
The mural?
2,000 years, but it's a large wheel. Look at the size of those wheels. Let me go.
This has a transverse V12 in the back, and back then that was like rocket ship space engineering. It is one of the most beautiful cars ever built. One of the cool features of it. If you want to see a few more, the largest gathering of murals ever is on the hill right over there. There's 40 of them.
How many do they make? 40?
There's
40.
Yeah, 40. Yeah.
So when you go up there, it looks like a used car lot. Like it's one of the most extraordinary, beautiful cars ever. But when you see 40 of them together, you're like, yeah, it's okay. But these are just this was the beginning of everything. This is before the Countach, before all of that. This was the car. I think one of the most beautiful cars ever built. Yeah, on the dash, just popped up. Using all the way through the 2000s. In fact, that engine that's in that was in every Lamborghini all the way through the Murcielago. Same engine. They would just change it. So if you had a Lamborghini in 2005, same motor that's in this car right here. But this is one of the most exquisite designs. So I think that's a good car to finish on.
You got to quit on Old Yellers.
We got to quit on Old Yeller?
Old Yeller's right there. It's right.
Here, you finish on Old Yeller. Come on, you can do it, baby. Come on, Brad.
We have
Let's
to
do it.
get.
Old Yeller.
We're about 20 minutes from heading out.
All right.
Okay.
We need to get a picture of the 4 of us.
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Okay.
And it's probably when we got it. Built by the movie car company, it features a 4 cylinders and 168 wheelbase. That car today is amazing speed.
So you kept walking.
And it beat them. This thing beat Ferraris. It's made in someone's shit. And it's raced continuously until today.
Yeah, that's a good point, Scott. This car has been continuously raced. It's never been restored since the day it was. It's just been refreshed and obviously things like spark plugs and also retools to make it race ready. They continue to race the car even to this point.
Thank you. Thank you for the tour.
Oh, it's got
I'm not trying to.
we trade off.
It's candy. It works.
But there's still a lot of
It made. Is this like
You know his father.
Yeah, pianos are kind of She noticed the black tape. Black tape.
Can't do this without y'all's help, so we really do appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Hope you have safe travels home. Hope you enjoy the car.
Thank you. Let's get a picture right here.
We can take a picture.
You mind?
We can take a picture.
These are Rolexes, so I'm not sure.
Okay, I will hold on to them.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So,
I will hold on to it.
We'll take them back to
We'll take it back.
Who wants a picture together?
take that back to them. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Get in here, Jim. Apparently, we're hugging all the girls.
That's it.
All right, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to do another one for good measure. 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you
I love
seeing
your
our
passion.
description.
I mean, you were just geeking out with cars and movement, and I love that. I love that. Yeah, we were lucky.
Look at this guy.
It's kind of when you whale watch